everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And today, our Halloween Countdown 2019 continues as we take a look at the brand new WWE Ghostbuster figures by Mattel. And first and foremost, let me say, these figures are ridiculous. Like seriously, how does the WWE and Ghostbusters, like, how do they come together? Like, what's the reasoning behind this? But hey, that's fine with me because I love crazy out there mashup action figures, and as a kid, there were two no bigger things that I loved than Ghostbusters and the WWE. Heck, as a kid, if you asked me to like design an action figure, it probably would have been something that kind of looked like these guys. I mean, heck, if you asked me to actually design action figures as a grown man, a grown adult, I probably would have eventually come up with these. So once again, this video today is coming from a hardcore Ghostbusters and WWE fan. If you don't like the WWE or if you don't like Ghostbusters, well, I mean, I think that's crazy on both accounts. That's totally fine. These figures, they aren't for you. But for somebody who loves both and doesn't mind a crazy whacked out action figure line, I'm digging these a lot. So let's take the camera back to those 5 figures there, show them off for you before we talk about them individually. There are 5 figures in the line. From left to right here, we have got the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, The Rock, the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker, the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect himself, John Cena. So who do I want to take a look at first? Well, I'm going to have to go with the one that's a little bit more in the traditional style Ghostbuster costume. That is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I mean, I'm totally ready to take a look at this figure. I got my What t-shirt on right now. But before we take a long, hard look at the action figure, let's first focus in on the packaging. And as you can see from the packaging, these figures are part of Mattel's WWE Elite line. In the Elite series, well, they're a little bit more deluxe than your standard WWE action figure, and they have much better articulation. They also usually come with some pretty cool accessories, like Stone Cold Steve Austin here, coming with the Proton Pack, and even comes with his Austin 316 vest. So now let's focus in on the figure. And once again, I can't believe we're in a world where WWE Ghostbuster figures exist. This is crazy. Okay, back to the figure. Once again, he has got the traditional Ghostbusters flight suit. It's in the khaki color, we got the Austin name tag on the front there. He's got a removable military belt full of gadgets, which are identical to all 4 of the Ghostbusters. On the belt, you're gonna find an MT500 radio, along with a belt gizmo. And being a pro wrestler, of course, he has to protect his knees, right? So he actually has knee pads outside of the flight suit. Oh, before I forget, also let's turn Austin around to the side a little bit here and show off the No Ghost logo on the arm. And let's turn around further because, well, there is the Proton Pack. And the first thing a lot of people are going to notice is that the size seems a bit off. I mean, these Proton Packs seem pretty small for these figures. That's because they're getting reused. Yes, this was the old Proton Packs that was used many years ago with Mattel's standard Ghostbusters line. You remember those? They were the ones that were sold on like MattyCollector.com. We had them like right there. I mean, I understand like it cut costs, but it's weird that they actually use these packs because the size of these figures and the size of that Ghostbuster figure line is like night and day. I mean, these guys are quite a bit larger. I mean, let's do a quick comparison right now between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Dr. Egon Spengler. I mean, look how much larger Steve Austin is here. But I guess there are some pluses about them reusing some of the same pieces and such. I mean, like, you could give, let's say, Steve Austin the PK meter from that Ghostbusters line. Or if you have Mattel's containment unit, look, Steve Austin right next to the containment unit. And maybe you want Steve Austin to wear some ecto goggles, well, you can do that too. Once again, if you collected that Mattel Ghostbusters line, you can probably cook up some pretty cool custom displays with these figures. Alright, so back to the Texas Rattlesnake. The actual flight suit is removable. There's just like a little Velcro strip right in the front there. And it reveals a slime green Austin 316 shirt underneath. How cool is that? And yes, you can remove the flight suit entirely, so he's actually just in his standard wrestling gear. So you can certainly make him look like a Ghostbuster, or you can make him look like it's, you know, circa late 90s Monday Night Raw, and he's about to like charge the ring and give a stone cold stunner to Mr. McMahon. And before I move on to the next character, for those wondering, and I'm sure you guys are out there, you certainly can put the vest on top of the flight suit, along with the Proton Pack on top of the vest. It looks totally ridiculous, it's over the top, but you know I love it. Listen, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Because next we're taking a look at The Rock. Oh man, he's about to lay the smacketh down, and he's another one. He's actually one of the only two guys outside of Steve Austin that actually does have a traditional khaki flight suit. But being that he's got those bulging huge arms, of course he tore the sleeves off. Now, the one thing to note about The Rock here is he's certainly based off of his late 90s appearance more than what he looks like nowadays. He's got the people's eyebrow, he's got The Rock, his little name tag on the front of the suit there, and of course he's got his iconic Brahma Bull tattoo on his right arm. I mean, it would have been totally inaccurate, but I kind of wish instead of the Brahma Bull, they had like a No Ghost logo kind of like tattooed on his arm. Once again, totally inaccurate, but been like a nice nod to Ghostbusters. Turning old Dwayne around to the back, we of course got the same exact proton pack that we saw with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I might as well mention the same proton packs that we're going to see with the other two Ghostbusters, Shawn Michaels and John Cena. And much like Steve Austin, you can remove The Rock's flight suit. As you can see here underneath, he has got a green Team Bring It t-shirt. And turning The Rock around once again, you're going to see a slime green Brahma Bull. Pulling The Rock's suit down a little further, I feel a little dirty in doing that, it does reveal his wrestling tights that features a silver The Rock logo. I kind of wish they would continue with that slime green design and maybe kind of give him like a dripping Rock logo on the front of his tights, but whatever. Like seriously, I love the way the suit looks with like the torn off sleeves, so I'm never gonna see those tights, so I don't really care. I know I'm already a few figures into the review here, but I'm already gonna tell you he's like my favorite of the main four Ghostbusters. Love the way this guy came out. Coming up next, you can't see him, we got the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena. And yes, his outfit totally throws Ghostbusters right out the window. We don't have any like khaki flight suit of any kind. Instead, we got this black t-shirt with the Cena name tag on the chest. As you can see, he's got his dog tags around his neck. We got some khaki shorts. We got some gray, white, and black shoes. Knee pads. He's got his military belt, once again with the gadgets on it. Here's a great shot as well of the backside of Cena, showcasing, once again, that proton pack. Taking a bit of a closer look to that t-shirt as well. On the right arm, you're going to see the No Ghost logo. So glad they included that. As well, we also have two No Ghost logos on the wristbands as well on his right arm. Taking a look over on his left arm, of course, we've got these Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect logos. Now, he doesn't have a khaki suit, but much like Stone Cold and The Rock, he does have some removable clothing. You can, of course, take off the t-shirt here. And man, have you ever seen a more buff Ghostbuster. Also, in taking off the t-shirt, I noticed that he does have a Never Give Up armband on, which is actually pretty cool too, because it's actually rubber and you can like take it off and put it on at your leisure. It is time now to tune up the band, because someone's about to hit some sweet chin music as we take a look at the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Now let me say, when I was a kid in 1996, I would have been 11 going on 12 years old, when Shawn Michaels won the WWF Championship, WWE Championship. I was such a big mark for the Heartbreak Kid. I loved him. So having the Shawn Michaels Ghostbuster figure in my collection, it's a pretty cool feeling. Now on to the bad about that, I do feel like this is the weakest out of all four figures. At least when it comes to the Ghostbusters WWE like look and design. When it comes to like just being a Shawn Michaels figure, I think it looks great, and I'm going to touch on that right here in a second. But first, here's just a quick once-over of the Heartbreak Kid. He's just wearing a basic sleeveless shirt with his Michaels name tag on it. He's also rocking the baggy pants with X's going down the sides. He's got the DX logo on his wristbands. I mean, this is certainly the end of the era, like near the end of his career, Shawn Michaels. And as no surprise, of course, he is wearing a proton pack. Now, one thing I haven't actually touched on, and I can't believe I'm already 4 figures deep and haven't mentioned it yet, every single Ghostbuster can hold the proton wand like so. So if you choose, you can have it like that in their hands. You can also mount it to the back. It's totally up to you. Now, like I said a few moments ago, as a WWE Ghostbuster matchup figure, I mean, if you were to take the proton pack off, nothing would really scream Ghostbusters about this whatsoever. But as just a WWE Mattel Elite figure, I think he looks really good. I would have loved to have seen Shawn Michaels wrestle in this gear. Like the khaki with the Degeneration X, it kind of gives me almost like a military vibe. Now luckily Shawn does come with a few pack-ins that definitely kind of sell the whole Ghostbuster idea a bit better. One of which here being the ghost trap. And I love the inclusion that they actually made the kind of like the effects coming out of the ghost trap, kind of almost like a slime green here. Looks really, really cool. And I just mentioned how like there's nothing on Shawn that really kind of screams Ghostbusters outside of that proton pack. Well, I mean, I guess there is something. He does come with like a little baseball hat that you can put on his head, And there you go, he's a Ghostbuster. But once again, outside of the Proton Pack, he would have just looked like Shawn Michaels wearing a Ghostbusters hat. He doesn't really look like a Ghostbuster to me. In fact, I actually much rather prefer this baseball cap on John Cena. It goes much better with his character, I feel. And coming up last, the 5th figure in the line. Of course, we have 4 Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters need a ghost to bust. And is there anybody more fitting than the dead man, the Undertaker? In this translucent variation of the dead man, seems to be the figure everybody wants in the line. Taking a look at the front of the figure, man, does he ever look menacing. Aside, of course, from that WWE Championship, more importantly, that WWE Winged Eagle Championship. Like, seriously, the best title design ever created. However, this one has been given a bit of a makeover. Of course, we have the gold plating, but this time around we have a translucent green strap. Now, focusing back on the Undertaker, he does come with his signature hat, which is also removable. And one thing I just noticed is actually his arms include like his tattoos. They're a bit of a darker shade, but you can certainly see all the detail work Mattel put into this. Oh man, like Mattel did an amazing job on this figure. I know, like I already said, like The Rock is like my favorite Ghostbuster, but without a doubt, this is my favorite figure out of the line. So Ghostbuster fans, wrestling fans, if you'd like to pick up your very own set of WWE Ghostbuster figures, these are available right now exclusively at Walmart. So far I've only heard about them being located like at US Walmarts. I haven't heard of anything of like, you know, Canada or anywhere else in the world. Me being in Canada, I actually had to buy these off of eBay. They were not supplied to me by Mattel, so this is like no way a sponsored, you know, review. I paid for these. In fact, I overpaid for these. And I would do it again because I love the WWE, I love Ghostbusters, and I kind of love these figures. So guys, that does it for today's video. Be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. Join our Patreon. We got a link right down below in the description there for you. And I will see you right back here next time as the Ghostbusters News Halloween Countdown 2019 continues.
Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog.